The classic view saw Jewish teachers telling Galatian converts that they had to keep the Mosaic law in order to be saved. And Paul was saying, no, the law is now set aside, all you've got to do is to believe. Problem one, most Jews of Paul's day were not legalists like that. Second, this pushes Paul towards the Marcionite view, contrasting the Old Testament with the New, whereas Paul sees great continuity. Particularly third, it ignores his emphasis on Jesus' followers as the true children of Abraham. Fourth, this traditional view runs into trouble in Galatians 5 and 6, where, despite the previous emphasis against works, Paul here insists on a strict and robust Christian ethic. Fifth, the traditional view has difficulty integrating Galatians with the positive view of the law in Romans. Sixth, it ignores the meaning in Paul's world of key terms like pistis, faith, and dikaiosune, righteousness, which regularly referred to communities of fidelity and justice, not to systems of soteriology. But seventh, and most important, Galatians is not about how people get to heaven. Heaven is never mentioned. Salvation is only alluded to briefly in this letter, unlike Romans, where it's a major theme. Actually, nowhere in the New Testament does anyone suggest that going to heaven is the Christian goal. Jesus taught us to pray that God's kingdom would come on earth as in heaven. And the New Testament ends with the New Jerusalem coming down from heaven to earth, not with saved souls going up. The early Christian vision, Paul's vision, is of new creation. You see, the Protestant reformers were doing their best to give biblical answers to medieval questions. But the problem was the medieval questions themselves. Once you think in the biblical terms of new heavens and new earth, with God's people as the resurrected royal priesthood within this new creation, everything looks different. We must stop giving 19th century answers to 16th century questions and strive to give 21st century answers to first century questions.